We are here at the NFPA booth, Reliable's NFPA booth, day one of the NFPA convention here with Cary Weber from Reliable. Cary, it's good to see you in person
Good
again.
to see you too, Chris.
Yeah, so
Appreciate
here we are.
everything you do.
We're going to do a little tour of the Reliable booth. But before we get into that, what do you think of the event so far?
Better than I think anyone expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
Great turnout. Great to see everyone. Really good to see people in person, of course. And
Oh, it's awesome.
it just seems like it's kind of like catching up with old friends. A little less business, maybe,
Yeah.
and just a little more enjoyment. So
As far as the evenings goes, I would have to agree with you. It's been really good, like with the development of the podcast and how much it's exploded over the past 2 years of lockdown and COVID.
Sure.
It's just like running into old friends, and it's people that I not necessarily have met face to face before. Like we've
Right,
talked and we've
correct.
met conversation, but now it's running into an old friend. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the next time will be even more enjoyable.
That's right. Yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah. We go from 2 beers to then we go from there. Anyway.
Well, he drinks the beer. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I just make sure that everybody's thirsty. That's all.
There we
Yeah.
go.
So, what do you guys have here to showcase everybody today?
Well, we've got a lot of stuff under development, some things we would love to talk about and kind of let out into the wild, but we're just not quite there yet. So, we have a lot of things that we've had, right?
Yep.
A lot of, one of the great things about Reliable, and of course, other manufacturers would say this as well, is, when you have a good product, why change it, right?
Yep.
So we tend to do a lot of training at these shows about our valves. It's not necessarily always about bringing out new stuff.
Right.
It's about meeting new friends and doing, like I said, doing training and building the relationships. So, I guess we might as well cut right to the chase. I mean, the biggest news that Reliable's got going now is the release of our Groove product line.
Right. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so-
Yeah. And I see all of your units that you guys have up here. All your
Yes.
set is all RASCO
Correct.
fittings.
Yeah, and that was a fun day on Sunday, changing all of that out at the last minute. But yeah, very exciting stuff. Again, Reliable, known primarily for the development of fire sprinklers and
Yep.
valves. That's our core product line. We've always had our what we call our system component side of the business, which is the support products, the hangers, groove line, and things like that. And those are typically, we're essentially reselling those for people.
Yeah.
But now with the release of the RASCO Groove, people are going to have that ability to have the same confidence and the same support structure and the same backup for their Groove product line that they would expect from Reliable through sprinklers and valves and things like that. So it's very exciting. Full product line.
Available now.
Again, this is kind of the release. A great effort was made to make sure that enough stock was brought into the country
Right.
before actually releasing them. And the last thing you want to do is open a product up for sale and run out.
Right.
And
yeah.
so over the past 6-8 months, it's just been supply chain issues aside,
Yeah.
getting containers and when we talk about containers, I'm shipping containers, full
Yes.
shipping containers into the U.S. and then set into place at the various distribution centers around the country before
Right.
we kind of release it.
Making sure that everybody's set up for a release
Absolutely.
and not just one or two.
Yeah,
locations.
absolutely. Because again, the last thing you want to do is just not be able to support that release. So that's kind of the big news of the show is the
Yeah.
RASCO Groove line.
And I will say, like, the first thing I did when I came and saw you guys changing the couplings out is I went to make sure that they were all symmetrical and the same, because that's the one thing that drives me nuts about installs. If you go into an install and you're looking at a system doing an inspection or something like that, and one coupling's this way and the other coupling's this way.
Trust me, as I rebuilt that on Sunday, I paid great attention to that, but I'm sure there's a mistake or two still sitting in there somewhere.
I haven't
so.
seen one yet, but I'll find it.
Okay, there we go, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
We appreciate the eye to attention.
Yeah. So what are we going to look at here first?
Well, let's just take a walk around the booth. Actually, this is good timing because what we've got up on the big screen here is the Reliable story, which, as a lot of folks might know, goes back now a little over 100 years since 1920. So again, great timing. We've got this kind of video on play about Frank Fee, the Irish immigrant coming
Right.
to Ellis Island and basically starting the company. He started a mechanical company,
Right.
HVAC and plumbing. As the story goes, he's unable to get sprinklers for a job that he was successful on. He partners with the U.S. government and sues the manufacturers that were making sprinklers, wins the lawsuit, but decides to go into the sprinkler manufacturing business to provide a reliable source of sprinklers to anyone who wants to buy them.
Any idea where the name came from?
I don't know, but it was a stroke of brilliance, if you ask me. It really was. And, you know, it has that connotation of reliability and things like that. But the story I've always heard was because of the way it happened, he wanted the independent contractors to, again, have a reliable source of product. And as it evolves now, it has that, again, that connotation of, you know, the modern day use of it. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is really cool. This is obviously set up for the trade show, but is this a video available anywhere?
Yeah, I believe that all of our videos, you know, maybe an exception or two can be found online. We have a YouTube channel. Our website has a resource page that has all these videos and some of the featured information that our marketing folks put together like this. Again, we're 2002 or 2022 now. 2020 was the actual centennial. We're a year or two after that now, but we're still kind of, you know, enjoying that that feel of a 100-year-old company.
COVID had terrible timing. I was in talks with John about doing a bunch of stuff for your centennial anniversary, and then travel restrictions and stuff like that. So we'll kind of pick up where we left off. Those 2 years never happened.
There you go. The throwaway years.
That's right. Yeah, that's basically
yeah. So anyway, we got that going on here with some great old, you know, artifacts from the company, sprinklers and patents and different things like that. So again, the war effort and now, of course, in the 4th generation of family ownership with the Fee family, that we're enjoying now. So,
and there's 3 generations that are here.
I've not seen the well, the 1st generation obviously passed. 2nd generation as well. So the last 2. So again, there's the 3 brothers. Kevin Fee in the middle, the president of the company. And then on site at NFPA is FJ4 and Kevin Fee Jr., the 4th generation.
Okay, cool.
So, and people are welcome to come by and meet these fine folks. So I love these guys.
Yeah, so let's take a walk around here. I'm going to get back behind camera so I can move it around. And,
so
walk me through.
You know, just kind of have some separate little what we call jewel cases with fire sprinklers in them. And we try and kind of partition those off in terms of, you know, dry sprinklers, a very solid line of full stainless steel sprinklers for corrosion resistance. Right above that, though, this is a relatively new product, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, or service that we offer. So those are, excuse me.
I like that. That's cool.
Concealed cover plates, and Reliable really makes just a very few of these. We use them across a lot of different sprinklers, but those flat plate concealers, we've have some standard colors, right? White, brass, chrome, kind of being the top 3. We've always had the ability to do custom colors, as long as it was a solid color. And then just recently, we've now invested in a large format inkjet printer that will do 35 of those at a time. So if folks want to match up with a marble or a brick or a wallpaper, photograph now, you know, there's obviously going to be some little variances in color printing and things like that. But, you know, it's just, again, a service that we offer. Is everyone going to do this?
It's amazing. But
we do get a lot of requests, right? You get a lot of custom homes where they'll want 4 of these and 6 of those and 7 of those. So it's a great service and just, you know, helps the industry promote itself. The only concern I have with getting too exact, I like that it's an off color like that. If you get it a dead on match, people are going to assume painted sprinklers. Correct. Well, painted sprinklers, or the other fear is the person who doesn't know hangs, especially on it with the sidewall flat plate, hangs a picture right over top of it. So anyone listening at home, when you see that, that's a fire sprinkler. Do not cover that up.
I think a majority of my viewers are sprinklers.
They're going to be sprinklers.
They should know. They should know.
So again, then as we work our way around, we can just kind of do a quick circle of the booth here. This is our what we call our Prepack unit. Prepack standing for prepackaged. These units are available in a number of different systems: deluge systems, single and double interlock systems, low pressure dry pipe systems. These give a customer the ability to take a plug-and-play unit, roll it into the building. They're designed to fit through a standard 3.0 door.
Right.
So if you're retrofitting a high-rise building and maybe you have a server room with a pre-action system, this thing can go up the service elevator, right through the door, into the corner. It's again designed with everything it needs, with the exception of the power wiring,
Right.
and the piping connections. But other than that, it's all pre-tested, pre-programmed, built in Liberty, South Carolina by reliable folks out on the plant floor, which is where I work. The good thing about that is we have the ability to go talk to the people who built your unit. Let's say if you bought one, you say, I've got serial number, whatever it is, they're all serialized. We can actually go pull the records on that, talk to the folks that built it, and address any issues that you might have out there.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
They take great pride in that.
Yeah, they should,
Each unit, again, serialized and signed off. You know, kind of like the car makers do sometimes.
Yeah.
They actually sign the units on the inside. They take great pride, and they're great folks out there. I just love the ability to walk out on the plant floor and talk with them and work with them. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's it's really cool to have the. I mean, it would be awesome to open up one of these valves and see Jim signing the inside.
Yeah, exactly. And then
inside
I can go say, "This is Jim."
Yeah,
right.
Or Jill. All your valves,
or Jill, because
absolutely.
we have a large section of our workforce in Liberty, South Carolina is ladies.
Yeah.
And they're great workers.
Absolutely.
So very, very happy folks there, and we're happy to have them. So
yeah, it's really neat, and you really. Man, you've jammed the stuff in.
Yeah,
there,
so
right?
this particular unit has an integral nitrogen generator. It has a Southtech FPS 900 nitrogen generator. We saw demand for this primarily in New York City, but some of the larger metro areas now, they like just the clean look with the door. This obviously has the door removed, but when the door is closed, it can sit in the corner of an office area and look like a piece of computer gear. That's kind of was the need that drove this. So again, everything you need: air compressor, a bunch of different options, release control panel for hooking up the detection, things like that. So
just habit as a fitter, just always press that.
you can't help yourself. I just can't really
see it, and I'm like, I gotta press that.
Yeah, well, hopefully nothing comes out of this one. Yeah.
How much did we pay to ship that water?
All right, so Prepack units. Yeah, we're very proud of those.
Yep.
Working our way around. This is a new display that we built about, I want to say it's been 8-9 years ago. Reliable came out with their own line of flexible product to compete in the marketplace. It's a basic unit that covers 80-85% of everyone's needs. We're always looking to expand on that as well with different end configurations. And again, listening to feedback from our customers. What do you like? What don't you like? And then taking that information, which is a big part of the job of our technical services group, is to take that information and get it to our engineers in a format that they understand. We're sprinkler people, they're engineers, and so the language sometimes just has to be broken down a little bit.
Of a barrier.
There you go. So, but again, that's the idea there. It's had great success in the marketplace. We see a lot of expansion on the use of flexible product, even so going so far as with residential world with CPVC pipe, and then that final connection to the sprinkler being made with flexible drops. So, but again, always looking to improve upon that. We'll see some additional reliable products in the near future.
Can't wait to hear about them.
Yeah, good stuff.
I know a guy who will help you release them.
So over here is kind of this gangly looking little thing here. It's got a lot going on with it. That's a very small sample of the fire sprinklers that Reliable actually does make in Liberty, South Carolina. We're just, trying to come up with different ways to capture people's interest and attention as they walk through the booth. And this particular design we put together just to feature as many types of sprinklers as we can.
Yeah.
We've got a full line of attic sprinklers on the backside here, what we call the backside near Chris there. Yep. And you can see all the reliable groove product that we talked about earlier. We've got a full line of medium velocity spray nozzles for deluge systems. Yep. For transformer use and different things like that. Those would pair up with our deluge valves that we offer. We'll look at those here in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
On the front side, we've got a very, very full line of storage sprinklers that anything that you might need for storage. One of the nice features there that we have is the ability in our factory.
Sure. Those sprinklers.
I want to come around this side.
Sure.
So the ability in our factory in South Carolina to actually make the guards and/or shields onto the sprinklers and have them arrive at the job site in that fashion, then a special wrench that can actually be used to put the entire unit in together.
That was going to be my next question. Is once the guard's in place and you even have like the spray protector.
Yes. Yep. Again, a wrench.
Pie plate. Heat collector. What do we want to call it?
Yeah, well, we all been through that, and we
don't call it a heat collector.
Yeah, not a heat collector, not a heat collector. But again, so it's that little thing where if you've got 10,000 operations to do and you can save 5 or 8 seconds on each one, that's what you want to do. So again, the ability to have that wrenched in as a unit. Yep. Save time in the field. But again, top row being essentially all the storage sprinklers that you need, from the 11.2s to the 14s, the 17s, 25s, and on out. We did release a new 2 new ESFR sprinklers to kind of modernize the line. We call them the P22 and the P25. Yep. The P22 replaces our HL22, which was an internal frame, very large sprinkler, very good sprinkler, just needed some modernization. And then the P25 being a K25. We always try and get the K factor of the sprinkler in the name. Absolutely. So that it's very easy for folks to understand that.
Sure.
So on the bottom, kind of some special sprinklers, our deck and hall sprinkler. How are we doing on time, Chrissy?
Good, yeah, no problem. I got your watch there.
All right, good deal. So our deck and hall sprinkler, an example of just some the additional or the optional finishes that you can get. A nice kind of black poly coat on that. Stainless steel, again, we mentioned a couple of those over there. Full stainless steel sprinkler, including the deflector. The seat itself, the water seal is a Teflon coated, which is what is very common. But the actual spring washer is also gold plated. So people have been asking for gold-plated sprinklers for a long time. This is as close as we can get, but one of the weak spots of the sprinkler is down at that water seal location, and so we went to the additional effort of putting a very thin layer of gold plating, which is a great corrosion-resistant material on the seats of all the stainless steel sprinklers.
Good soft seating material as well.
Yeah, well, it's got some great properties to it, but again, it's the same material we always use. We just put that gold plating just to provide that layer of protection, which again, one of the phenomenal things about gold is it can be made extremely thin, right? So anyway, we've got just some examples again of our flat plate residential sidewalls, commercial sidewalls as well, extended coverage flat plate sidewalls. We talked about those a little bit over there. Yep. So that's our sprinkler display.
Awesome.
Yep.
And moving over to the
sure, we're going to take just a look at the valves here real quick. Yep. We again, if we looked at kind of SKUs and different types of systems, we let's say we have 25 different types of systems we could build. Obviously, we couldn't bring 25 of those to the trade show as much as we would like to. So
I would like you to.
Yeah, I would like us to. So what we try to do is bring a representative sample, and then again, part of the job that I love is the ability to just educate people.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not a sales guy, so we have those guys here that are, you know, trying to capture orders, not necessarily at this show or any of the trade shows, but our job in tech services is really to educate and train. So I had the great pleasure of spending about 40 minutes with a couple of young guys yesterday who were very interested in deluge systems of all things. And so we spent a lot of time just kind of talking about those, but we've got essentially 4 valves on display here, or 4 systems. This first one is a wet system. We call it our floor control assembly, or FCA.
Yep.
So this could be used in a stairwell of a high-rise, for instance, going vertically, going horizontally, whatever the case demands. We've also fitted into this one a pressure regulating valve, more appropriately or formally called a pressure control valve now in NFPA language.
Yep.
It incorporates a pilot regulator, which by definition then makes it that pressure control valve. So again, if we have a high-rise scenario where we're putting 300, 350, now up to 400 PSI in a system, obviously our sprinklers can't take that kind of pressure. We were able to reduce that pressure down to a set number and then take it on out into our sprinkler system and not overtax those sprinklers out there. And we do have, by the way, a nice lineup of 300 PSI sprinklers.
Right.
So we do have the ability to go up to 300 PSI on some sprinklers.
Okay.
But again, floor control valves, floor control assembly over here. I don't know how you want to roll your way around.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. We tend to do that, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So again, a same valve body over there, and one of the beauties of this style of valve, these diaphragm valves, is the ability to build a number of different types of systems, deluge systems, pressure control deluge systems, things like that. This valve here that you see, this red valve, is our DDV, diaphragm deluge valve. It's not a clapper style. It just has a single moving component, which is the rubber diaphragm between the flange, the cover flange there, and the valve body. Very simple operation. We bring water into what we call the control face of the diaphragm. Hydraulic pressure holds that diaphragm against a rib in the back that keeps the water from passing through the valve. When we release that hydraulic pressure that's holding it in place, it allows that diaphragm to deform and water then flows through our system. The beauty of this particular valve, however, is that when you close the device that you opened to release it, the valve will automatically stop.
So it can be used as an on-off type.
Correct. And that is why this valve was basically built for others and for ourselves. But it is that ability to stop the flow of water, and if necessary, start the flow of water from the push of a button. Right. That's
huge. With
a clapper style valve, such as we'll look at in the back there, once the valve trips, the only way to stop the flow of water is to get your hands on the control valve and close it. Yeah. And sometimes that's an impossibility, or it's not feasible.
Yeah.
So now we have the ability with the electronics to essentially close whatever release device was open. Generally, that's going to be a solenoid valve. Once we do that, again, the valve repressurizes, stops the flow of water. So if you're halfway down, I like to use this example, if you're halfway between England and France in the Channel, and that zone goes off, you're not going to be able to get probably a fire sprinkler or a technician down there to stop that flow of water, right? So we want to be able to do that from the control towers on either side.
Absolutely.
And again, it's got great use. The one other benefit of the valve, as opposed to the clapper style valves, which are great valves and they have a great history, as long as they can go vertical. Right, the clapper style valve can only go water in the bottom, out the top. The diaphragm doesn't care what orientation it's in, so it can be sideways, diagonal. If you've got a strange installation where you need a deluge system that's laid out flat, can be in any type of orientation. So diaphragm deluge valve over there.
Excuse the shaking.
The FX dry pipe valve, seen here with the faceplate off, we started selling this about two or 3 years ago. We found ourselves in a position at that time of having 5 different dry pipe valves in our lineup. It's sometimes hard to say goodbye to old friends. We had our Model D dry pipe valve that this is the replacement for. had been in the reliable lineup since the early 1970s.
Wow.
Great valve, great history. Problem with it was, I should say, the issue with it was a very heavy valve. It was a cast iron valve. It had no external reset, and it also, because of the design back in the 70s, used priming water. Right?
Oh, right. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, as an industry, we're taking steel pipe and putting air, and then throwing that third component of water, pool of water, into our valves to make those nice, mucky messes when you take the faceplate off. Modern day dry pipe valves with the new technology and the new rubber compounds that are available, we don't need that pilot or that priming water any longer. And again, the old Model D did not have the external reset feature. So the ability to drop that clapper down from the outside without removing the faceplate just saves time during commissioning, during service calls due to fires or accidental discharge and things like that. Still necessary, however, to pull the faceplate off every year and do an internal inspection. Every year, internal inspection of the dry pipe valve. But
I like how yours is kind of hidden and tucked away. It doesn't invite people to press it if you do get a service call in the middle of the night. And the first thing service guys, maintenance guys want to do is, I've already got a reset for you, buddy. Don't worry.
Correct. Yeah, and then it's very astute of you to notice that. We like to call it a protected external reset for that very reason. Someone who doesn't know what they're doing in the heat of the moment when alarms are going off and water's flowing, it's very easy to just start doing everything that your hands can get to. So again, we went to great effort to protect that from accidentally happening. So cool on you to notice that. Good stuff. And then finally, working our way around to another valve that's been in the reliable line for the better part of 2 decades now. The DDX valve, dry deluge external reset. That valve has the ability, this valve platform has the ability to support 10 different types of systems. We do 3 types of double interlock, 3 types of single interlock. We do low pressure dry, and gosh, what are the other ones?
If you want to do it, this valve can do it.
It can do it, right? So, and the beauty of these valves, and this again, I have no hesitation in saying it, we're not alone in this concept, but the valve body, the platform, you customize it to be whatever type of system that you need. So in that regard, the valve is convertible. If your needs change in the future, you can change some of the trim out, change it from a deluge system to a single interlock or double interlock. And so forth. But that valve, again, very bulletproof valve, as is the case with the FX. Internal components of this valve, 316 stainless steel. Right? Traditionally, clappers and moving parts on the inside were brass and so forth. So to help with the longevity of the valve and prevent corrosion, the internal components, stainless steel. So for the fitter, just a little better comfort level, opening it up that things aren't going to fall out of the front of the valve.
Absolutely.
So again, that's pretty much it. On the back, we can take one more look as we roll around. If we want to touch just real quickly one last time on the cover plates that we've got for the flat plate sprinklers, being the pendants or the sidewall versions. We're going to have 12 different patterns that you can see on the board here. Those will be pre-printed and available on very short notice. They'll be stocked. If you can make one of those match up close to your wood grain, then you can get those very quickly. If not, and if you want a custom printed cover plate, the idea is to get us a 4-inch square sample of the material. This is the best way to do it. Get us an actual sample of the material. We bring that into the factory. We photograph it. We edit it appropriately with the software. Do a custom run of that very specific pattern that you're looking for, and
what's the turnover time on that?
It's going to vary, but it's really not a huge process. It really is get the photograph, do a little editing, and print it. Give it a run. So I'd say it's going to be a 2-week at the most type thing.
Who would have thought Photoshop techs are going to be needed in the
exactly. So now we're taking guys who are building sprinklers and turning them into photo technicians. But yeah, it is fun stuff, and
There was something on the back? Was there something on the back, or was this?
No, that was
Yeah.
it. We,
Oh,
we
okay,
do
cool.
have some on the back. We've got some, you know, some banners and things like that. But again, appreciate the time you spent with us,
Absolutely.
Chris, and
Thanks for all the
appreciate
support.
everything
and it's
that
good
you
seeing
do.
you in person.
Good to see
Thank
you
very
too,
much.
buddy.
Thanks.
Look forward to it.